Testing, testing. You bet. 1 minute warning, 1 minute warning. Please take your seats. Please take your seats and silence all electronic devices. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Colonel Anthony Sanders, and I have the privilege to serve as your Master of Ceremony for today's event, and I welcome you to the promotion ceremony of Colonel Leland Tony Shepard to Brigadier General. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Major General Kendall W. Penn, the Adjutant General of Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party, the playing of our national anthem by the 106th Army Band, and invocation by Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Promotable Jeremy Miller. As a reminder, this promotion ceremony is considered an indoor event. Therefore, no military headgear is to be worn. Civilian guests are asked to render the appropriate honors during the national anthem, if able, by placing your right hand over your heart, while military personnel are to stand at attention only and face the United States flag.
I invite you to bow and pray with me. Lord, we are grateful for this day, grateful for this moment and this opportunity to see Colonel Shepard promoted. We are thankful for his family and friends and all who have gathered here today. Lord, we pray that you may bless him and keep him and make your face to shine upon him in all the decisions, the directions, all leadership. Lord, we pray that your hand is upon him now. We ask this in Jesus, your most beautiful name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Joining us today for this special event are several special guests. Representing the Office of Governor Asa Hutchinson, Colonel Retired Steve Egensberger. Representing the Office of United States Senator John Bozeman, Master Sergeant Retired Michael Long. Representing the Office of United States Senator Tom Cotton, Ms. Patricia Herring. Representing the Office of Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, Colonel Retired Marcus Hatley. Colonel Retired Nathaniel Todd, Secretary, Arkansas Department of Veterans Affairs. Arkansas State Representative, Lieutenant General Retired Mark Berry, District 82, and former Adjutant General of Arkansas. The Honorable Mark Leverett, Judge, State Judicial District 31, Little Rock, Division 3. The presiding officer today, Major General and Mrs. Kendall Penn, the Adjutant General of Arkansas. Major General Patricia Anslow, Deputy Combined Rear Area Coordinator, United States Forces Korea, Combined Forces Command. Brigadier General John Payne, the Deputy Adjutant General of Arkansas. Brigadier General Brad Cox, the Director of the Joint Staff. Brigadier General Retired William Johnson, former Deputy Adjutant General, Arkansas. Colonel Michael Henderson, Chief of Staff, Arkansas Army National Guard. Colonel Paul Haar, Director of Staff, Arkansas Air National Guard. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Kenneth Brown, State Command Chief Warrant Officer. Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Stephen Veazey, Arkansas National Guard Senior Enlisted Leader. Command Sergeant Major Paul Winkle, State Command Sergeant Major, Arkansas Army National Guard. We now turn our attention to welcome and recognize members of Colonel Promotable Shepard's family. His wife, Ms. Zandrel Shepard. His mother, Miss Gwendolyn Shepard. His mother-in-law, Miss Carolyn Kelly. His children, daughter Logan, and sons Ryan and Lucas. And finally, a very special welcome to all other members of the Shepard family, friends, current and retired service members who are here with us, and those watching via social media to witness this event and celebrate this milestone. Colonel Leland Tony Shepard was born in Guyana, South America. He is a graduate of Montgomery County Community College in Pennsylvania with an associate's in electronic engineering, a graduate of Philander Smith College with a Bachelor of Arts degree in organizational management. He holds a Master's of Arts in Information Technology Management from Webster University and a Master of Arts in Strategic Studies from the United States Army War College. Colonel Shepard received his doctoral degree in executive leadership from the University of Charleston. He is currently a Regional Vice President of Operations at PODS. Colonel Promotable Shepard is married to Zandrel Shepard, and they have 5 children: Anthony, Ryan, Wells, Logan, and Lucas. Colonel Promotable Shepard has served 2 combat tours in Iraq with the 39th Infantry Brigade Combat Team. His first deployment in 2004 as a signal officer for the 1st Battalion 153rd Infantry. His second deployment in 2008 as the 39th Infantry Brigade Combat Team's signal officer. He has received the following awards and decorations: Bronze Star, Combat Action Badge, Meritorious Service Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Overseas Service Ribbon, Operation Iraqi Freedom Service Medal, and numerous other federal and state service ribbons. Colonel Promotable Shepard was awarded the prestigious Order of Mercury, Bronze, for the highest standards of integrity, moral character, professional competence, and selflessness. For those who have contributed significantly to the Army Signal Corps. Colonel Promotable Shepard is also a recipient of the Army Legion of Merit Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the presiding officer for today's ceremony, the Adjutant General of Arkansas, Major General Kendall Penn.
Well, thank you, Anthony, and good morning to everybody. I'm glad you were able to come out on this balmy day in Arkansas and join us here for what is a very great day, not just for Tony and Xandro Shepard, but also for the entire Arkansas Army National Guard, as we gather to celebrate the promotion of Colonel Tony Shepard to the rank of Brigadier General. And Tony, I just got to tell you how much of a huge honor and a privilege I think it is to preside over this ceremony, and I want to thank you for the opportunity. Before I go any further, I'd just like to, again, to recognize some of our special guests here. You know, we've got a whole host of dignitaries and senior officers and NCOs here, but I just want to especially thank all of our congressional delegation, the governor's office, representative, as well as Lieutenant General retired Mark Berry for showing up. We have just wonderful support from our elected officials out there, and I just want to say thank you for what you do for the state, as well as for the Arkansas National Guard. You know, a promotion is a special event, and I'm taking just a little bit of an issue here. A promotion is always a special event in an officer's career. It indicates that he or she has been recognized for the hard work and dedication, and that they've attended and passed all of the necessary schooling, and that they've done a good job in all of their assignments. But at promotions, I always go back to comments that one of my predecessors, Major General Bill Wofford, always made note of. You know, he said there's a big difference in the way that the Army and the military at large promote folks versus the private sector. In the private sector, if you go out and do a good job, in all likelihood, you're going to be promoted and you're going to move up. But in the military, if you are promoted, or if you do a good job, the military is going to give you a medal or a ribbon or a certificate or some other award. And you only have to look at Colonel Shepard's uniform there and to read his biography to know that he's done a fantastic job in every position that he's ever held. In the military, though, the key difference is we promote folks based on potential. The military looks at your record, looks at your performance, and then tries to project out into the future. Does that officer show the capability of performing at the next higher rank? Tony has shown that capability for as long as I've known him. And I've known you for a bit now, Tony. I think we first crossed paths in 2001 when he came to 1st Battalion. We were getting ready to go to Iraq, and he was my signal officer. And Tony was able to do things with radios and with computers and wiring that nobody else in the brigade could do, and just a whole host of accomplishments in the course of it. But what really always stood out in my mind, so we finally get into Baghdad, and we're doing day-to-day operations, and Scott Stanger there is my S3, and we don't have enough captains to run the TOC on a routine basis after we start sending folks home on a routine leave rotation. And so normally that job that is kind of important, the captain steps up there. It's normally an infantry officer in an infantry battalion, and they make sure that the battle is being fought and run the way that the plan lays out. And so we didn't have enough captains. We were sending folks home on leave, and Tony stepped up and said, let me give it a shot. And so right off the bat, he started making changes there in the TOC to make it more efficient, to make the reporting that we gave to the brigade more effective, and to make sure that the soldiers understood exactly what it does, or what the TOC was supposed to be doing and what we had not been doing up to that date. And that always kind of stuck out to me, because it just proved that Tony was a pitch hitter and he could go in and do any job that you gave him with ease. And I've always appreciated that about Tony. But on top of just the ability, the natural ability to do the job, you know, he also kind of was able to put the soldiers at ease a little bit more. And Tony was one of those guys that could kind of live up to that old Army saying, you know, soldiers obey orders because they have to, but they follow orders because the person that gave them is a leader. And they always followed anything that Tony said. And we were always a better unit when Tony was there at the helm. So Tony, I just want to say again, what a great honor it is. I can't wait to see all of the accomplishments that you bring to the table when you assume your new rank and your new position here later this morning. And I'm just honored to have the opportunity to be here as part of this ceremony. And I'm going to cease my comments here now, and let's get on with the promotion.
Escorts, will you assist Ms. Sandro and Lucas Shepard to the front of the stage? Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary in the military that when attention to orders is announced, all military personnel will rise to attention. Civilian guests may also stand if you so choose and are able. Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Colonel Leland Tony Shepard. In view of these special qualities, his demonstrated potential, and by order of the Secretary of the Army and direction of the President, he is promoted to the rank of Brigadier General in accordance with Special Order GO 131-02, effective 5 May 2022, signed General Daniel R. Hokanson, Chief, National Guard Bureau. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, making his way to the front of the stage is First Sergeant Retired Billy Booth to render Brigadier General Shepard his first salute as a general officer. General officers are issued several distinctive personal items. Among these are a flag set, a general officer's belt, and a general officer's pistol. The general officer's belt was authorized for wear by general officers in 1943. Presenting Brigadier General Shepard his belt is his daughter Logan. The belt is black leather with a gold-plated belt buckle. The buckle design is the coat of arms of the United States. General officers may wear the belt with any uniform they deem appropriate. Current custom is to wear the general officer belt with the Army combat uniform. The practice of issuing pistols to general officers began in 1944 during World War II. Title 10 United States Code Section 2574 authorizes each general officer to be issued a pistol and provides the option for them to purchase the weapon upon his or her retirement. These pistols are special in that they are procured especially for general officers with serial numbers prefixed with the letters G.O. Presenting Brigadier General Shepard his pistol is his son, Second Lieutenant Ryan Shepard. In addition to the general officer belt and pistol, general officers and admirals are authorized an indoor and outdoor personal flag with the appropriate number of white stars. Army general officer flags have a red background. This is the reason general officers and admirals are known as flag officers. Brigadier General Shepard's flag would now be ceremoniously uncased. In charge of the uncasing is Command Sergeant Major Paul Winkle, the Arkansas Army National Guard Command Sergeant Major. Brigadier General Shepard's flag is being carried by Staff Sergeant Lewis Jackson. During ceremonial occasions, the playing of ruffles and flourishes may be used to announce the arrival of an official of general officer rank. When ruffles and flourishes and the general's march are played, military personnel rise to attention. Civilian guests should also stand. This playing of ruffles and flourishes and the general's march is significant, as it is the first time it will be played for Brigadier General Shepard as a general officer. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, we will have a special presentation by Master Sergeant Retired Michael Long from the office of United States Senator John Bozeman. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Brigadier General Tony Shepard.
Please take your seats. Please take your seats. What a beautiful Arkansas morning. Whoa. Good morning, General Penn, former tags, Lieutenant General Barry, thank you for being here, sir. Major General Angelo, thank you for being here, ma'am. Oh, Brigadier General Johnson, thank you for being here, sir. Judge Leverett, thank you for being here. Distinguished guests from our legislation body, members of the Senate, past and present members of the Arkansas Guard, men and women watching this virtually, thank you very much for participating in this milestone event of my career. It's such an honor to be here today to serve as a general officer. There's a saying out there that you can't be what you cannot see. And in the Arkansas National Guard, I have been able to see quite a bit. The changes over the last 10 years has been tremendous. General Penn just mentioned our beginning, our genesis, and how we met. It's truly serendipitous that we meet again, sir. You appointed me as your first commander, and here it is that you're appointing me as another commander. I'm humbled, sir. I thank you for the vote of confidence and trust that I will do my best. To the 106 Army Band, the best band in the business, thank you very much for what you do. To Mrs. Sheila Hayes, who you guys will meet here shortly. Mrs. Sheila Hayes and her husband have done a tremendous job in preparing refreshments for us when we're finished with this hot morning. So I will try to keep my comments short. It did take a village to get me here, and I am not able to thank everyone. However, just remember, if I don't mention your name here today, it's not because I didn't remember you. It's because I just had short time. To Colonel Sanders, thank you very much for what you've done. Over the last 2.5 months, Colonel Sanders has assembled a team to make this day possible. With the help of people like Sergeant Major Veazey, whose attention to detail in making this happen is well received. Sergeant Major, I know today is your wedding anniversary, and you've chosen to come out here. Thank you to you and Mrs. Veazey for being here. To my loving and most beautiful wife, I still love you like Barack loves Michelle. Thank you for your undying support, your love. It is not possible for me to exist and operate. And I want you to know that I appreciate all that you do as the matriarch in making of the Shepherd House. To the Creator, nothing is possible without God. And for Him, I give the praise and the glory for pathing my way here today. This may be one small step, another step of promoting an officer to the rank of general. But it's a giant leap for African Americans across this state, across this nation, and across this world. And for that courageous step, General Penn, I appreciate the honor. I thank you for the opportunity. I will lead as an example. Nowhere else could my story be possible than the American Dream way. This is an American story. My story is an American story. I'm an immigrant from the beautiful land of Guyana, where a young private dreamt the dream of getting to the top. Started from the bottom, now we. So that bottom has an environment. And the environment in which I'm surrounded by is what has made this possible. I tell folks that I'm lucky, and they say, it's not luck, Tony. You've put in the work. You've done the deeds. I wouldn't differ too much, but I will say to you, I am lucky. I'm lucky to have the family that I have and the friends that I have. It wouldn't be possible without those folks. So let me harken back to the genesis of my beginnings here in Arkansas. And I'll try to keep it, but you must know some of this to understand how I got here. As a private in Charlie Med, I met a group of people back then. Connie Anthony, Darrell Beard, Sergeant Major Michon, and it was a sergeant first class. Is that a sergeant first class shepherd who I have no relations with, but took advantage of the name, that helped push me to OCS. I went on to OCS and met up another set of guys, my crew, my best friend and competitor from the beginning, Lieutenant Colonel Rick Pettigrew. Rick and I marched together trying to do the best that we can be, the best officer candidates. And Rick, for that, I thank you. You continue to provide mentorship and a source of inspiration. Thank you, brother. After OCS, I was joined by another set of guys. Harold Williams, Colonel Harold Williams, my bud, roommate, one of the two guys who have said they've been a roomie. Harold was a staunch officer, always wanted to go by the book. And because of that, I practiced that same behavior. Harold, I appreciate the beginnings, brother. Thank you for what you've done in my life. Some of the others, like Colonel Chappell, Colonel Lee, those guys have been instrumental in helping me along the way. But it was a young Sergeant First Class, Eric Marsh, who decided to make me the technical person that I have become. Is Sergeant Marsh here? All right, I'll get with him later. Mom, thank you for setting high expectations. This is a lady that left Guyana as a teacher, came over to the US and decided, hey, I'm gonna do something different for the family. And went on to nursing school and became a registered nurse. Started driving in the United States at, I'm not gonna give the age, but at a pretty old age. And for that kind of courageous behavior, Mom, I thank you. Because you see, when you plant seeds like that, you get good fruit. The Bible says, if the fruit is good, if the seeds are good, the fruit will be good. It's better to be good fruit these days than strange fruit, right? I feel the blessings and the prayers of all my Guyanese family. To my family members, so I've got a couple of people that I call brother, and my son, Lucas, always wants to know, why you call, is that your brother? Why are you calling that guy brother? It may not be brother in the bio sense. Right, Lucas, they're not truly my brothers, right? And you know that. But they're brothers at heart. And a guy, Aaron Simon, has been a brother in my life for a long time. Aaron, thank you for what you've done, you and Colleen. I appreciate it. To my sister, Vicki Briggs. We've adopted Vicki as our sister for the last 25 years, and she and her husband, Eddie, have never missed a promotion of mine. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. My cousin Patrice Parkinson, the guy who introduced me to the concept of being a soldier. Patrice, in the Pennsylvania Pennsylvania Reserve, started off introducing me to the idea of being a soldier and encouraged me after college to join. Patrice and his siblings, Ederl, my auntie Joyce, and my cousin Varela, who couldn't make it today, helped me when I just entered the US, and I appreciate that very much. Ederl, I appreciate that, Patrice, and give my kind regards and love to Varela. Tell Siku I said what's up. My sons, Anthony, Ryan, Wells, and Lucas, I couldn't be more proud of you guys. Thank you guys for the kind of children that a dad hopes to have. Appreciate it. And the Duchess of Sherwood, Logan Shepherd, thank you for being such a lovable daughter. The latest in our family, Shannon Q, is my granddaughter, not present, but present virtually. Anthony and Shanice, appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys continue to make the Shepherd tribe good. Last, from a kid, the Talbot family, Uncle Raymond and his 3 kiddos. I don't know if my cousin made it here today, but he's one of those guys. Oh, there he is, yes, Atiba. Thanks for trekking and getting out here. I didn't know if you were going to make it, cuz thank you very much for being in my life. You're a champion. The M8 group, appreciate it. Thanks for being here. To my Army family, and on to some of the people who really help with all of the National Guard's service to country and community and country. Those are our civilian partners. I started off working at Autel. Autel Communications grew to become the 4th largest communications provider right here in Little Rock. My growing pains as a leader started there, and it all started with a guy by the name of Shawnee Hightower. Shawnee, thank you for giving me that break and helping me get to where I was going at Autel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Subsequently, and I'm going to fast forward a little bit, to a man who was not only a supervisor of mine as a VP at Autel, but became someone who I can trust and lean on, Mr. George Easley. George, you've been remarkable. I appreciate all that you've done in my life. David, a late inject, thank you very much for being there. But how did Shawnee get to know what Tony Shepherd could do? Shawnee got to know what Tony Shepherd could do when Justin Ray, the guy, the first one out of my OCS class, sat down with me to help craft that resume. I said, we're gonna get you to a supervisor. We're gonna get you to a supervisor. Justin, we tried hard. We tried hard. We didn't get it there, but we made it. Thanks for being at that time. Brother Cooney, Brother Welch, and my A5A family, my fraternity brothers, thank you very much for what you do. The Honorable Judge Leverett, thank you for being here, sir. Appreciate it. I like to tell this story, so bear with me, I know it's hot, but I like to tell this story because I would not be here if it weren't for this woman. As I rose in the ranks at Autel, and people like CJ Duval, who became a constant mentor, decided, hey, you're doing things here. You're doing well. I got a little big for my britches, and I thought, I'm gonna leave the Army behind. So I decided to craft a resignation letter that I was going to leave the military. And I proceeded to take that letter to Major Eason. Major Eason said to me, hold on to that letter because you can regret this moment every day of your life, or you can remember this moment every day of your life. Colonel Deason, that moment is a watershed moment in my life. If you had not taken the time to say that to a young captain, I would not be standing here today. We need mentorship and leadership like that. You can't be what you can't see, and I saw that in you, and I will be that type of leader. Thank you, ma'am. To my War College Army guys, I've got to give a big shout out to these guys. Dr. Ricky Strait, just announced to me that he was not going to be able to make it, but virtually, I want to thank Dr. Strait for being the kind of mentor that he was outside of being a professor. My colleagues in the War College class, congrats to Daphne for being GO, appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of the help. In this state, we do things by our own drumbeat. And back when Major General Warford decided to give another African American a shot at leadership, he chose one of my mentors, William J. Johnson, as the first African American general in the state of Arkansas. You can't be what you can't see, and sir, I see it in you. Thank you for what you've done for the Arkansas Army National Guard. Thank you for what you've done for me. To Professor Keith Wilson, did Keith make it in? Keith Wilson has dedicated to making sure that this moment is recorded in the history of Guyana. He went through a lot of trouble to make sure that it got to the office of the President of Guyana. They interviewed me this week. Today I'm on the newspaper. Who would have thought that little boy from Station Street would be standing here on the front page of the Guyana Chronicle? Appreciate it, Keith. Thank you for what you've done there. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention some of the other civilian families that I work with. The Choice Communications family, and a woman who made choice possible, none other than Miss Krista Gregory. If Krista could have been an officer in the military, she would be standing there before you today. That woman is an operational genius. Chris, thank you for being here. You and Fab traveling the full distance. Baby Gigi, thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it. Staying with the Choice family, Omar, Delina, and all of that team who've helped me become the leader that I am today because of what they did. But it started off when I became the CEO of Choice, an inspirational message by an inspirational guy. A native of Arkansas, Mr. Keith Jackson. Man, we are proud of you. You kicked off what became a tremendously successful career at Choice. Keith doesn't know this, but his time in Philadelphia was the same time with us. So Keith was an Eagles, and I'm an Eagles fan. And the times from 1988 to 1992 are the times that I was going to college there, you were there. Thank you for what you've done for the Eagles. I know you went on to be a schooler, but you've done it as an Arkansas son. We appreciate it. Tribute to some of the people who are coming up. I am really awe-inspired by the young generation and the next set of leaders. Crystal Brownlin, one of my mentees, you are what the Arkansas needs going into the future. I hope that I see you standing at this podium with these stars in the future. You have the potential and you have the grit. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Colonel Sanders, and many other African Americans to come behind us and do the great things that you have. You have the persistence. So in closing, a quote from President Coolidge: "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. More common than successful men. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of fully educated people. Persistence and determination alone are the factors and the elements that will help ensure. And sir, with every fiber of my being, I intend to serve with all those attributes." Colonel Ingram, you can't be what you can't see. Thank you very much for what you've done. Lieutenant General Berry made that possible. I appreciate that, sir. You can't be what you can't see, and I thank you for what you've done there. Thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's promotion ceremony. Please remain at your seats as escort officers come forward to escort family and distinguished guests from the room. We will now have no more than a 30-minute intermission before we begin the change of command ceremony. It may begin sooner. I have 10:57 a.m. Please be back in your seats no later than 11:20 a.m. Thank you for attending the promotion ceremony. 11:20.